to say Messianic Knights.
There you go. He'll go every ball. And this is where you give the game away, Rahmanullah Gurbaz. Foolish. That's all I will say. I mean, this is bad captaincy. Mohammad Shahzad will sleep every night and hit these boundaries for form. There is no question. Look at Hasibullah. I mean, he's no bowler. He's got 115 kilometers or something. Nijat Masood and Shahzad having a word. Don't rile him up. He's happy to do that. Mohammad Shahzad, he is in his zone with bowlers like this. You give him this, he will hit you all day.
Well, this is a disappointing piece of captaincy here. What just happened there? I just thought he got out, but no, it was just a dot ball. Even a dot ball in Mohammad Shahzad's dictionary means as good as out, because the man always wants to hit a 6 or 4.
Look at the way he reacted. It's a wide, by the way. It's a wide. It was a wide. The umpire called it. It was a come round, give it a different angle. You bowl this one, Shahzad will hit you. Shahzad will hurt you, I'm telling you. Look at this. Look at this. This is just simple chicken meat for Mohammad Shahzad. Every time you bowl there, Hasibullah and Rahmanullah Gurbaz, you are going down the drain. Swat.
Well, I don't even know what to call that shot. It's only a Shahzad that can do that. And Arun, you know what? Because they're chasing just 140, every boundary is going to put that much more pressure on the Eagles because they don't have much to defend.
Which is why I think what they've been doing right now, Samiullah Shinwari and some of the other senior players going up to Hasibullah and speaking, that's a good thing. Remember, the captain's only 18 years of age. And which is why I think it's important for him to just go big, to just attack all the time, because you're certainly not going to defend this total. You're not going to stall proceedings. The only way you're winning this game is by bundling out the opponent. And for that, you need your best bowlers on right up front. Which Roti example was more pertinent.
Pointing. He's given it out. Now there you go. Rahmanullah Gurbaz will say, I know or two which don't. Possible ball gets it. Look at where that ball pitches. Leg stump, outside, way outside, and Mohammad Shahzad is it nowhere. It's just a tangle, gets a glove, and that's a wicket. You know, this is a comedy of errors, this final, Navdeep. Complete comedy of errors.
How can you predict play today when you have a final like this? It's almost impossible to predict what's likely to happen next. None of the big players are coming to the front. And well, bowlers who we didn't expect to are delivering the goods.
What's happening there? The umpire is actually giving, the fourth umpire is giving Mohammad, the third umpire is giving Mohammad Shahzad a marching order. Was he abusing someone? Was he saying someone? Was he doing, sledging someone? What was going on there?
No, I thought it was perhaps a simple case of the no ball perhaps being checked and Shahzad just continuing to march on to the dugout. And then he probably just made him wait for a split second longer and then said, okay, off you go. It's out anyway. Right, this is turning out to be a really, really interesting contest. Ghamai Zadran, someone who's climbed up the fantasy pecking ladder quite significantly over the last couple of games, is now always sooner than he might have expected.
All I will say is, if anyone gets this right, boss, I want you in my team for the IPL. In my fantasy team. I will hire you. I will hire you to come and play fantasy for me if you can get this game right. And trust you know better fantasy than I do. This is one of the most bizarre games of fantasy that one can see. Nijat Masood. Navneet, have you seen, this is one of the most bizarre finals. Have you seen anything like this in a final?
Very difficult. I don't think too many will come close to this. because it's just been one of those games. But it makes for interesting viewing, right? Because you don't know what to expect next, and completely shatters the leaderboard from our Dream 11 perspective, brings in someone completely new right at the top. Fascinating.
But that's what the whole thing is, isn't it, Navneet? We are here to do fantasy commentary, and this makes complete fools of us, at least me, because I think I know a thing or two about fantasy having played it. But if this is the way a game unfolds, you are just not doing anything. I mean, you've got it wrong. You've got to accept that, oh, I'm sorry, I did not get it right.
Just a quick word, and Arun, when we look at the of the approaching it, good piece of fielding at the point region there, and you can see the wicketkeeper run up. Give him a pat on the back. The backward point fielder.
Today, China of the wicketkeeper, the captain, Gurbaz, of course, just going up there and patting the backs of the fielders. Yes, you're right. Those 2 wickets must have given them a whole lot of confidence. The pick for Shehzad and also Bahar Ali. Just one more here, they'll really sniff a possibility.
This man on your screen, it all comes down to him. Hasmatullah Shahidi, the sheet anchor role. He is the backbone of this batting lineup. And on the big final, does he have excellent shot that from Shahidi, gave himself some room, takes a step towards the leg side, and well, manufactures himself some room. He swung that over backward point, 2 bounces and over the boundary for a 4. Good shot, good start this from Shahidi. But look at this, Boria. 2.5, 17 for 2, very similar to what we saw in the first innings, and this is what they're fighting for. The wonderful SHPAGEEZA Cricket League trophy.
Absolutely. Hashmatullah Shahidi. He will know 140 is nothing too big. He will know even if it is 60 of 10, 65 of 10, he will be fine. He will be fine.
Right, 17 for 2 at the end of 3. And I don't think the Messianic Knights have to hit the panic button yet, because they still have quite a bit of batting there. Afsar Zasai, Shahidullah Kamal, Abdul Rahman, Dawlat Zadra, of course, bat a bit. Not they've had out middle the last times or so. He played yesterday, Hashmatullah Shahidi. He was prepared to kind of today. It's that kind of day today where you cannot afford to go all guns blazing. But this is the right call again. Azmatullah Omarzai coming in. There is some assistance for the seamers so far, and Gurbaz seems to be making the most of it. I'm not complaining. He's my vice captain for the day.
Gurbaz is basically taking God doesn't play dice approach, taking his chances, so far successful. Gamai Zadran and of course Hashmatullah Shahidi. And I thought Navneet Krishna called it right. The key here is Hashmatullah Shahidi. He scores a 45-50. People will rally around him and get to that 140 mark. Hashmatullah Shahidi gets out here. I wouldn't be surprised if panic sets in.
It's going to be very interesting to see when Karoti comes on to bowl. At the moment is Azmatullah. He's good as well. There is a good solid crowd that has come in for this big final. It's a Wednesday afternoon and the people in Kabul are being treated to a classic game of T20 cricket. Shot outside off, you're asking to be hit.
Try and bowl shot, might as well do that with at least a sweeper cover or a deep point. If you're not going to have the protection, that line and that length is not going to help.
Point, and they may even want to bring one back from either the third man or fine leg region and put a sweeper cover, even if it is the power play. But what Shahidi can do is take his time. By his time, they really have time because they're not chasing a big total. The Knights will still believe they can.
Mind you, he did take his time even slightly.
There is a far square leg fielder, so just a single. And Gamai Zadran, the big hitter, the man can hit the mighty sixes. Another look at this wonderful trophy that the 6 teams have been battling it out for. We saw the 4 of them make it to the playoffs with the Spingar Tigers and the Ammo Sharks missing out on the playoffs. And then the Boost Defenders were eliminated, and just yesterday in the second qualifier, the Vande Ahmed Dragons. Oh, wait a minute, here we go. Non-cutting. This might just be a big moment in this game. Azmatullah looks like he has just man-cutted or run out Hazmatullah Shahidi at the non-strikers, and he was backing up maybe a little too much. I just think this is gone. This is gone. And well, I think this gives us plenty to talk about. Boria, quick thoughts on this.
I think he's done the right thing. I've always said it. Rules are because they have to be followed. If you want to take a, you've got it. He's not out. He's not out. I think Hashmatullah Shahidi is in. No, it's not about, I think the umpire can't call it out because the bat looked to be on the ground there. No, this angle can't give it to you. He's touched it here. And is the bat there on the ground? At the moment, there is nothing under the bat to tell you there's a shadow. I think Hashmatullah Shahidi is in. I think Alokozay has been a wrong call. There you go.
Yeah, it is not out. That is a good read of play there by Boria Majumdar. 23 for 2. What that is going to do is have the non-strikers on their toes going forward, right? And you want to make sure you're behind the crease.
An instance of the non-striker being run out in this fashion, Allah man-cutting, if you would. When Daulat Zadran got rid of Noor Ali Zadran in one of the league phase games.
Okay, first things first, as someone who follows this game intimately, I think it's a disservice to Vinu Mankad by calling it man-cutting, because you are telling people that Vinu Mankad was wrong. No, you're not. Vinu Mankad wasn't wrong. So all of us, and this is not me talking, this is Sunil Gavaskar and me talking together. Vinu Mankad had warned Bill Brown in that Sydney game and in a group game in 1947-48, and when Bill Brown refused to listen, after multiple warnings did Vinu Mankad run him out. And I think Vinu Mankad did the absolute right thing. So this is, let's not use it pejoratively in any way against Vinu Mankad, which is why I have a very strong thing on this one. I introduce penalty, and I think if you introduce a 5, 10, 15 run penalty, no one will back up like this, because this is, you're taking unfair advantage of the situation.
Morality honestly really doesn't make any sense to me at all, but this It's the final so far. The Eagles didn't bat out their full quota of 20 overs, because those 5 deliveries could have easily brought you at least 10 runs. So those are the minor check boxes that you want to tick before you complete a game. Right, Nijat,
let me give you this. There were some days back. There was a heated debate among players and admin and whatever about man cutting, and I was having a chat with a number of players. I do not want to name them on air, but the deal was, and I was told that Mahendra Singh Dhoni went for 2 runs in that World Cup final, got run out of the World Cup into India. So anyone who says man cutting is wrong, keep that in mind, that it's a 1 inch that will separate a world champion from a not world champion. So whoever says Ravi Ashwin was wrong, please think about that.
Well, we're going to come back to play on the field here. Very right now, 25 for 2, 4.2, and this is going to, and Shahidi has been there for a while now. He will take his time. That is just the nature of Hazmatullah Shahidi. He will take his time, and is that he have time in as they're chasing 140.
but in rhythm, at times it's important to persist with him for that extra over. Sometimes you have the tendency to try and save him for a few overs in the back, but he could almost always get you a wicket when he's in rhythm. And he's surely showing signs of picking up a wicket or two. He is having Hashmatullah in some kind of bother. Just a question of who's playing. %.
9, Gamai Zadran on 3. Okay, even at the risk of that means Hashmatullah Shahidi, 60 not out, will steer this run chase. Big man for the big moment. He will not panic. The last thing he will do is panic.
Shot. Fantastic. Absolutely outstanding there from Shahidi. He's picking his balls. Respect when the bowler deserves it, but the loose ones are going to go. That is an excellent shot from Shahidi. And Boria, big man for the big moment. And he's showing calmness and composure. Something that I really would have loved to see in the first innings, especially the first over. The man has the game. He has the skill. He has the talent. It's just lack of application, and that's the difference.
It seems to me you've given up on Mohammad Shahzad. He's like, okay, he can do it, he can't. It's like Navneet has almost given up on Mohammad Shahzad, saying, no, he's my punt player. But think of it, he's Mohammad Shahzad. 40.
And every one of them, if I point you 9 out of 10 times, I would much rather place my money on someone else. 29 for 2, 5 overs completed, and this is the partnership. This is the all-important partnership for the Messianic Knights. Having said that, you know what? We saw what Afsar and Shahidullah did yesterday, Boria, and these were 2 players, especially Shahidullah. You had him in your team, and he got you all those points right at the very end. It was a match-winning partnership by the Messianic Knights.
Absolutely, and that is why I am saying 60 from Shahidi will steer the chase, because they will take the way. I do have in some of Bhatia's winning. I know he's beating me hollow at this point in time. I know Navneet Krishna is way ahead. I know all that. Having said that, I'm still in this. Even with the horrible days, the deal is, on bad days, you make yourself ready. You trash your opponents.
Tell you what, that he scored in the last over, I would say it wasn't a bad delivery at all. The ball was bounced and aimed at his body. And I thought he did really well to manufacture that shot. Backed himself away. If there was only one loophole over there, there wasn't any fielder out there in the deep at point or at sweeper cover, and he made good use of that. And I really like the looks of him. He's still compact. The game's still very much the Knights to lose. There's that matchup. Sharifi versus Shahidi. Once again, going for that wide tramline Yorker. It's no more a fad, in fact. It's become a staple. It's here to stay. In T20 cricket, you're always looking to bowl those wide Yorkers or those wide short deliveries. And the latter is probably a little easier to execute if you have the right kind of protection on the fence.
Zia Sharifi. Come on, let's have a fun game this one. Gamai Zadran 4.
The pitch conditions. Gamai Zadran loves extending his arms. He loves the free flow of the bat. We've seen him hit some mighty sixes already. And he misses out on that occasion. Gamai Zadran, the boundary wasn't enough. He was trying to force the issue once again. Missed out. And this partnership is so crucial for the Messianic Knights. The target 140. They're playing for glory here. This is the final of the SHPAGEEZA Cricket League. The Messianic Knights, defending champions. They've done half the job. They will certainly consider themselves in the driver's seat at the moment. They were brilliant with the ball.
It's not out.
This is a decision that has gone to the third umpire. Surprising, because it looked like the batsman was clearly in and his bat was on the ground. There you go, a fairly straightforward decision for the umpire. And Sharifi,
Zia Sharifi, Gamai Zadran and Hashmatullah Shahidi need a partnership. If they do that, this is a game on. It's over for them. Take your time, Gamai Zadran. There's absolutely no hurry. Get to 60 of, say, 9 overs. If you are able to do that, which you are very much on course, you are in control.
Well, as a relatively new fantasy player myself, I think Gamai Zadran is an excellent case study for all of us. I think we've seen the numbers increase as far as people on the Dream 11 app are picking him, especially after those recent performances. We'll come back to that after this delivery.
I thought Arun Venugopal makes a very, very valid point there. Did you watch the CPL, Arun Venugopal, at all?
Yes, indeed, yes.
And were you playing fantasy there?
There are a lot of balance and poise about Gamai Zadran, which is why you got to like the looks of him. Not the most blistering of power play starts for the Messianic Knights, but they'll do all right with 38 for 2 at the end of 6. This is a really good looking shot. Vis-a-vis the clear class and the talent aspect that exists.
This is a similar question to sentimentality, so I will let Navneet Krishna take that because he goes by sentiment, I go by reason.
You know what? There's a huge percentage of form for sure. I would imagine form to play a bigger role when you're picking a fantasy 11. Only because you know that they're in form and they're likely, the probability of them scoring again for you is much higher. But the thing with the star players is that it's a matter of time before they come good. So consider the context of the tournament, the opposition, the playing conditions, the role in the team. And so when you look at all of this, it's very subjective. I don't
The turning point in this game, Navneet and Arun.
Well, against the run of play, who would have thought that Shahidi will chop one back onto his stumps? Look at that. Was looking at just gliding it down to the third man region, and they are ecstatic and right. This is continuing to be interesting here. He doesn't want to go off. He's slowly making his walk back. Shahidi will have to depart for 30 and is absolutely distraught with that.
You know, for all of you that have just started playing fantasy cricket, these are the kind of bittersweet moments that would eventually characterize all your time playing fantasy, because Shahidi was my captain in one of the teams that I have, and Alokozay is my vice captain. So to watch Shahidi go back is potentially losing out on a lot of points. And mind you, the fact that he is struck at less than 100, and if these batsmen actually stay on for long enough to make that up, then you're profiting a little bit, but they depart for a moment. This has been a stirring fight back from the Kabul Eagles. This match is looking a lot closer than what it seemed just a few minutes ago.
Okay,
You batsman.
that you were all asking, that's a good, interesting one. Shahidullah Kamal in place of Alokozay. Did the performance of yesterday influence this call of sending Shahidullah Kamal ahead? Interesting.
I think that, and also the fact that he's a left-hand batsman, Boria. A lot of T20 teams look to do that. When there is a left-hand batsman who's departing, they try and look for a like-for-like replacement or someone who can fit the bill. Like you said, yeah, with yesterday's performances, Kamal does tick the boxes.
Very good point. Very good point, Arun Venugopal. Very good point. Shahidullah Kamal. Interesting. Azmatullah Omarzai coming into the game. Real talent, this man, and proving what kind of talent he has. Lovely sort of find for Afghanistan cricket. And check. Somebody like David Warner, for example, will you not have Warner in an IPL game because he's a very England Australia series? You do that at your own peril.
But about a couple of years ago, we all know he's a proven IPL captain, he's a proven performer. But then he went through those string of low scores before he eventually dropped himself. What do you do in a situation like that?
There is a difference here. A Shane Watson or a Gautam Gambhir or an Adam Gilchrist, people who did not play cricket for a while, Taki Raidu, who's retired, something like that, and then wants to make a comeback. I mean, in one of those guys, it's a different ball game. David Warner is not a retired cricketer. So he is an active cricketer. Him to strike form is much easier than a player who has not played cricket in a long time. So Shane Watson. If Shane Watson hasn't scored in 2 matches, be more tempted to drop him than drop a David Warner. Simple as that.
I don't think you drop a David Warner. It's as simple as that.
Yeah,
he is quite easily in the top 5 best batsmen in the world across formats. David Warner is as good as they come. And to see David and Steve come back to international cricket after that 1 year, and to see the runs flow off their bats, and to see what Stephen Smith did in the Ashes last year,
indication of the kind of promise and form. It's a great combination of both of that. The topics we were just discussing. At the end of 7, the Messianic Knights are going at 4 at 43.
Very difficult to choose a winner. Very difficult to choose a winner. Navneet Krishna is one. Arun Venugopal is the other. Mandir Bhatia is the third. Okay, folks, let me ask you this, all of you. So, fantasy commentary is here to stay?
I think it's an emphatic yes. And as the newest convert, I think I'm in a very unique position to talk about that, as opposed to a lot of you who have played it for a while. For someone who's just coming in to play fantasy cricket, I would say that this initiative from FanCode and Dream 11 is a huge help, because every time I pick the team, I do have a look at the preview, I do have a look at all the insights that's on offer on the FanCode app, and I pick my teams accordingly. I do glean a lot. Over these last 5 days, I've gleaned a lot from Boria and Navneet as to the rationale behind the way they pick their teams, the number of teams they pick. And this provides a unique peek into cricket and fandom. At the end of the day, sport is nothing without fans.
I think our friend Devanuj wants to ask Navneet, who are the people from this league who Navneet fancies in the Afghanistan cricket team?
And now the ball angled the right hand, he misses once again. Interesting the past, and I think I have 3 to 4 names, and I'm happy to have Sharafuddin Ashraf. Yeah, to feature consistently in the national squad. Gurbaz, Karoti, Sharafuddin Ashraf, Noor Ahmed. I think they certainly are future stars.
I think the one name that all of us will agree on is Azmatullah Omarzai. That has the ability with the ball, goodish fielder, is a real star in the making.
I think another name that we probably might have to add there is Bahar Ali. Bahar Ali actually to have the likes of Shehzad at the top eventually.
Very Hazratullah Zazai prototype Bahar Ali.
This is a much improved over from Hasibullah over here. And we just saw what happened. Gamai Zadran probably just a little lucky. The wicket keeper was flailing himself to the right, but there's no way he would have caught that. Goes to show how cricket can so often be a confidence game. When you hit for boundaries of your first 2 deliveries, you sometimes end up forgetting what you've done all your life. And like he's making the links, he's pushing him on the back, delivery and stroke. Just a bit, on 45 for 3. Right, the Manhattan is a clear indication of how the prospects have been for the night so far. The second and the 6th overs have registered a massive spike, but other than that, the wickets at frequent intervals, they really seem to set them back by a bit. Remember, the Knights are the defending champions. They're looking for a second title in succession. But an Eagles victory will be interesting for the fact that you have a different champion. But right now, it's so close to call. That wicket. What are we seeing here? Shinwari is going off. The added responsibility of captaincy, but here Sharifi. Beautifully bowled. Beautifully bowled. He just got that to straighten a tinge. They've got some really good seam bowling resources. Nijat, Hasibullah, Hasmatullah and Sharifi. Interestingly, we haven't even seen the first sighting of a spinner. And I think it's very conscious. They clearly realize that it's the seam bowlers that are causing all the trouble. They want to prolong the agony for as long as they can. This is turning out to be one.
Not from the fantasy perspective, from rather our fantasy perspective, and me, for some when you put in your best to make your teams and they don't do well, it is almost you take responsibility for it in fantasy, and that makes fantasy so much interesting to me, because you are the coach, you are the captain, you've selected your players and they haven't delivered for you. It's like, you're outside but you can't do much and you feel, oh, what's going on? It's really nice.
Over these last 5 days, that's something that I'm coming to terms with. I'm feeling like a Delhi Daredevils coach who must have gone through the agony for a number of years.
Saurav Ganguly said this to me last year, that I was sitting outside. I wasn't playing. I couldn't do much. And I was sort of, almost biting my nails.
Revisit your strategic boardroom just a little bit more, or sometimes you just let it sink and say it's just one of those days, it's just the rub of the green not going my way.
No, I again this has not been one of those days. It's been a low scoring final. So as I keep saying,
we just lost Boria for a bit. We just wait for him to come back. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Boria. Now.
Okay. So I'm saying,
Boria's back again.
Yeah, I'm saying that I actually did anticipate this in one of my mega league teams. 2 of them. It's a low scoring final. I did. That's what I'm saying. I mean, it was an unfortunate day, but I have kept such things in mind when I played fan. That's why you play 11. You've got to be clear. Why am I playing 11, or you are playing 11, or for that matter, Mandir is playing 11 teams? Because you have to anticipate situations. You think situations. You conceptualize situations. If I have to go Shahzad captain, Rahmanullah vice captain, Noor Ali captain, Hashfatullah vice captain, then what is the point of 11 teams? 3 teams are good enough. Now, in my afternoon squad, for example, okay, I'll illustrate this. Now, in my afternoon squad, Australia-England, which is exactly an hour, 20 minutes from now, I have envisaged a situation keeping in mind the 2-pace track in Manchester, keeping what Adam Zampa is doing, Adil Rashid is doing, Jofra Archer is doing, Hazelwood is doing, Stark is doing, Wokes is doing, Sam Curran is doing, that it just might be a 220, 230 game. Now, I have actually framed some of my teams with bowlers, which in a normal Australia-England ODI you wouldn't do against 2 power pack batting units. So I have taken that into account. Having said that, so Mandir Bhatia says he's done that as well. And I have also taken into account a situation where the middle order is dominating the game. So there are 3 scenarios. What are the 3 scenarios? Scenario 1. Bowlers come good, it's a low scoring 220, 230 game. So clearly the return on investment on bowlers like a Zampa will be more than a batsman. Number 1 scenario. So you take bowlers like an Archer, Zampa, Hazelwood, Stark, Wokes, and Rashid. Okay, 6 done. And if you're taking these, what are you telling yourself? I'm taking Hazelwood, Stark. So clearly I'm saying Hazelwood, Stark, where do they bowl? They bowl at the top of the order. What does that tell you? That tells you that Johnny Bairstow and Jason Roy haven't scored. So my option number 2 is middle order. So I've gone Joe Root, Owen Morgan, maybe a Sam Billings, maybe a Joss Butler. So you've gone middle order for teams which are bowler heavy. And for the third option is you don't rule out class. So you go in with a Warner, you go in with a Bairstow, you go in with a Smith, you go in with a Finch, and you form your third likely possible scenarios that can unfold, and I've kept all of them in mind, Arun. The question I've just been asked by our producer is, have I picked Jason Roy? Jason Roy looked good in two minutes, got one out, right? And he was starting to middle the ball, getting a couple of square drives on. So in 3 of my teams, I do have Jason Roy. Again, because I was a little upset and frustrated with myself for this game, I've gone all or nothing for the England-Australia game. And all or nothing means I've gone very decisive. So where I've got Jason Roy, I've got him impact. So I've given him vice captaincy. So that's how I've gone. In my head, I'm playing a chess game and trying to anticipate 5-6 moves and trying to make provisions for that with 2 teams each. Will I get it right? I don't know.
Hasibullah certainly didn't get it right over there. But tell you what, if you're playing fantasy cricket and if you're looking at meticulous preparation, thoroughness, and covering all your bases, whatever Boria Mazumdar just spoke to us about, I think that's the best part. Most exciting and thrilling proposition of playing fantasy cricket. You have so many permutations and combinations stacked up before you. You use your brain, you study the conditions, and you prepare as well as the man does, and you might win a lot of money. Right, just coming back to the contest in hand, that's a much needed boundary for Shahidullah Kamal. The required run rate has been climbing just a little too steeply. They needed that boundary. There has been a bit of a drought. That was much needed. Just a question to you, Boria, on this again. A lot of the viewers that must have been tuning in, looking at the scorecard, would probably just wonder if there is anything that's wrong with the wicket. Do you think it's a slightly different pitch as opposed to what we have seen over the last couple of days?
When you're chasing a 140 score, it is always going to be a different wicket in terms of what it looks like. No team will want to, and you've lost top order. So it's not as if, they will go all for leather. Having said that, it's only natural that it's a tired wicket. It's being used every day. I'm assuming it's been rolled. But having said that, it is still a tired wicket. And even if they have not used the same one, how many strips are there? So it is a tired wicket in every sense. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe the ball is slightly holding up. Maybe it's slightly too paced. Shot making is slightly difficult. It is turning. We saw Noor Ahmed we saw
this time, you have the biggest extravaganza in cricket. And the dimensions are going to be slightly bigger and smaller, and that's what one of the analysts of an IPL franchise was telling me, where a Sharjah or an Abu Dhabi, given their dimensions, which will be slightly different to a Dubai, will look wholly different. Remember, it's 60 games and 3 venues in all. There will, of course, be a lot more pitches. But how do you see that impact, Boria, at least during the middle stages of the fag end?
See, as the tournament goes on, there is no debate in my mind that spinners will come into play. And that is why, if you see my SWOT analysis on Fan Code, I have picked Delhi Capitals as my dark horse tournament team. Just go look at the lineup of spinners there. I think the 2 moves will give Delhi Capitals a massive edge. The move is from... So I think Ravichandran Ashwin, Sandeep Lamichhane, Amit Mishra makes a fabulous trio. Also, you would expect your Indian top order to do decently well on a slow, low wicket. And look at that top order. Prithvi Shaw, Shreyash Iyer, Shikhar Dhawan, Ajinkya Rahane, Rishabh Pant. Now what does that do? That frees up your foreign recruits. So your top 5 is Indian. Now you can easily go in with a Kagiso Rabada and an Anrique Nokia as your 2 foreign fast bowlers. Sandeep Lamichhane as one of your spinners, because you also have Ravi Ashwin and Amit Mishra. So you have enormous balance in that side. As a result, I think Delhi Capitals will be a real handful. Actually, Navneet Krishna, if he was around, this is one of the best Bangalore sides you've seen in a long, long time. It will be a close tournament. Because if you see, the biggest plus for Bangalore is the withdrawal of Kane Richardson and the coming in of Adam Zampa. Adam Zampa, in these wickets in the Middle East, from the performance we have seen, is a real star.
League and the Eagles are well and truly in the hunt, because the Knights haven't done too badly, but they're still not in the driver's seat yet. This is promising to be an exciting last 10 overs to the tournament. Remember, the pitch is perhaps a bit on the slow side. Hitting through the line hasn't been all that easy, and the bowling's been quite spot on. Right, as we reach the climactic stages, here's the man for all those high moments who has just recharged his batteries a bit. Navneet Krishna, welcome back to the virtual comm box.
The man for the high moments. Well, there's only one name that comes to my mind, Ravi Shastri.
Come on, Navneet Krishna, do me a Ravi Shastri. The three most interesting commentary.
The most popular one, and Dhoni finishes off in style. A magnificent strike into the crowd. India lift the World Cup after 28 years. The parties start in the dressing room, and it's an Indian captain who's been absolutely magnificent night of the final.
Ravi Shastri would be proud of that, Navneet Krishna. You've done it word for word. Wow, man. Well done, Navneet Krishna. And there goes Gamai Zadran. Well done, Gamai Zadran.
Well, if Ravi Shastri would say anything to that, that is nothing less than a tracer bullet straight out of the meat of the bat over the long off fielder. And Gamai Zadran is slowly but steadily reducing the gap between runs and balls.
And this is what we've seen of Gamai Zadran in these past 2-3 games. He's taken his time to settle in, but once he's bedded in all nicely, he does demonstrate that propensity for those big sixes. He's certainly a value player.
Okay, folks.
But speaking of Ravi Shastri, Navneet, one of my favorite Ravi Shastri moments happened in the press conference, in fact. While Virat Kohli did address the press conference and there was some question about intent, and then Kohli did do his usual bit about intent, process and stepping up and not taking a back step. So he completed his answer, which is fairly long. And once he did that, Ravi Shastri was just sitting beside him intently, just leaned forward and then grunted.
Well, that is typical Ravi Shastri, isn't it?
No, Navneet, you've not done the job. You've given me 1, 2 and 3. Come on, Navneet. Number 2.
There are two more. Obviously, the 6 sixes and the Srishant taking the winning catch as well. A wide signal by the umpire here. Not amused by that, Sharifi.
I would want you to do the one for my friend, our singular hero. And it's the Superman from India.
And it's the Superman from India. The first man on the planet to reach 200. Something on those lines. I don't know that word to word.
Correct. And after that game, the great Sachin Tendulkar did not sleep a wink. All night was answering SMS messages. Do you guys know why?
I will certainly like to hear that from you, Boria.
Because he was given a suite with really long, and sort of flowing curtains, and he thought there was a ghost in that hotel in Gwalior. And Sachin Tendulkar, the brave Sachin Tendulkar, did not sleep a wink that night. He was so really scared. So he did not sort of sleep at all, and all he did was answer all the SMS messages for his 200.
Tell you what, I can imagine Shane Warne having a bit of a Schadenfreude moment over there. Even the number of sleepless nights that Mr. Tendulkar would have given him.
Sachin Ramesh Tendulkar, what a character, what a star.
Well, there's so many moments of brilliance that has always caught my eye, having followed broadcasters for over a couple of decades now. But if I have to pick three names, Boria, I'm going to say all time, I will have Mark Nicholas as one of my favorites. There is something about the energy that he brings to the table. I think Harsha, his gift of storytelling, his ability to say more with less, is certainly one of them. And Ravi Shastri for everything, all the hype, all the energy and the adrenaline, right? So these are my three, but all time. And if I were to talk about current cricket, needless to say, I don't think many people are going to go past Nasser Hussain and Ian Bishop.
Among the current lot, you're absolutely right. I think Nasser is extremely good, as is Saurav, as is Ian, as is Michael Atherton. There are quite a few there who are genuinely good. I do think somebody like Shane Warne is an inspired commentator. On days he's extremely brilliant. He's got a fantastic sense of humor if you know him well. So that's Shane Warne. Michael Clarke is super impressive. Among the all-time, if you really say sort of, less said, more conveyed, it has to be Richie Benaud. And that classic Richie Benaud style. Tony Gregg will be for the energy that he brought to the table. Tony Gregg, superstar that he was. More conventional, Ian Chappell for sure. I like the style that Ian used to bring to the table. So some of these commentators are quite legendary. I mean, Harsha, my friend, yes, absolutely, is a good one. I think among the Indians, Sunny Bhai and Saurav and Ravi are the top three. Sunny Bhai for his understanding and storytelling. I think Sunny Bhai has one of the best sense of humors among anybody. And I guarantee you that. There are certain things that Sunil Gavaskar will bring to the table that will just make you go wow and laugh. Ravi Shastri, absolutely, and for the country.
But Karoti's come on for the first time in the 12th over. The first time a spinner is seen in this innings. It's been a very conscious decision to go all seam bowlers against the Messianic Knights. So it'll be interesting to watch the approach of these batsmen. They've already begun with the boundary.
While we get engrossed in the chat about who the best broadcasters are, slowly but steadily, the Knights have moved on to 75. Streaky boundary came off. And now 64 from 51. 84 from 51. It certainly still is anybody's game. My apologies again. 64, that is right. 64 from 50, 63 from 50, in fact. Give me three names, just three names, Arun. Your top three.
It's going to be an incredibly hard act to follow. But I can probably start with saying whom I would really like to watch a lot more of. Rahul Dravid. If not for his coaching assignments, I think with his dry, wry sense of humor and those lovely little stories that he brings to the table, he makes for an excellent commentator as well. Just as how well he's done a lot of other things. Among the contemporary lot of commentators, I certainly like. By this time, Kabul is really looking to open up. The partnerships exceeded 40 right now. So that brings an end to the over 79 for 3. They need 61 from 48 deliveries. It's game on. Just quickly going back to the list of commentators, I did say Ian Bishop-Ogley figures on my all-time. Just 5 bowlers so far. Nijat bowled 3 up front. And it's going to be interesting how he's going to ration those 2 overs. Sharif is bowling out here.
This is definitely going down to the wire. Oh, streaky. Edge, 4 runs, and he will take that. It's getting closer and closer. Any game, 9 out of 10 times you're going to say that the batting team will take this. With 6 wickets in hand, 7 wickets in hand, it certainly is advantage to Gamai Zadran, Shahidullah Kamal and the Messianic Knights. And I'm not too sure if I can predict who the last 4 are going to be bowled by, only because of what is going to be the situation at that point of time, who the batsmen are going to be. So if it's a left-hand batsman, you might want to get in an off-spinner and vice versa. So it's difficult to predict, and I was surprised that Karoti came into bowl only in the 12th over. Really, when he's bowled so well, you'd like to bring him on early. And so, once again, Arun, it's just been one of those days where it's hard to predict what's coming your way.
But I think there was a fair bit of rationale to the reason to hold back someone like a Karoti, because he wanted, Captain Gurbaz did want to give his seamers a fair crack at the batsmen because they were doing well. And the batsmen were finding it difficult to get the seamers away. So I thought, given these factors on hand, there was an extended spell on offer, but I for one see Omarzai definitely being in the thick of things. As far as the last 4 is concerned, I reckon he'll bowl at least one of those. If things get out of hand, he might probably be deployed a little earlier too. But Karoti has to keep bowling at the other end.
Excellent shot, and it is taken at point. Well. Who would have thought? It was a nice little partnership coming together, and out of nowhere, the Kabul Eagles are back in this, and it's the big wicket of the informed Gamai Zadran. He hits that straight to point, as straight as it can get. He didn't have to move an inch, the point fielder. 83 for 4. I'm not too sure what the confusion is, but it is safe to say that Gamai Zadran will have to walk back.
But what are they waiting for? I'm not sure. Neither of us is sure at the moment. This has been a good hand from Gamai Zadran. Came This has been a good hand from Gamai Zadran. He came in at a time when the team was in a bit of a strife, but has really dug them out. This is going to be interesting now. Who's the new batsman coming in? What kind of approach does he take? We have all seen that on this wicket. It's been slightly difficult to hit from the get-go. It's Afsar Zazai. wicketkeeper batsman who also kept wickets today because Mohammad Shahzad, owing to an injury perhaps, took the field. A strike rate that's not hugely impressive, but that's not what's really needed too much at the moment. You really need someone to bat till the end. A strike at around 115, 120, that should do.
It's going to be once again the two of them, Afzal and Shahidullah. They did it just yesterday, and you can almost see them do this again because it is within reaching distance, 57 or 46. But the onus is back on these two again.
Yes, indeed. It's really hard to predict anything at this moment. But I feel Sharifi's been quite impressive all day, as have been the other seamers. That was the replay of the catch. Seemed to be a bit of confusion before they eventually had the batsman marching off.
This is what wickets do. This is what wickets do. It doesn't matter which format, especially in the T20 format, it's going to slow the run rate down. The new batsman will come in, will take time to settle in. And have a look at Gurbaz. Have a look at Gurbaz egging the fielders on, pepping them up. They are very much in this. It's anybody's game. Yes, 57 or 44 advantage batting side. Shot, brilliant, straight to the fielder. One more wicket, and suddenly we're talking about the lower middle order.
Yes, indeed, and I also like the fact that he's bowling to his field. He's got a clustered offside field, and he's keeping it well outside that channel. He's not even erring on the straight side, which could probably see him get picked for a few runs. This is smart bowling. This is smart captaincy as well. But last ball of Sharifi's spell, he's done well so far. And he finishes off on that note as well. Just 25 runs coming in his 4 overs. I'm glad indeed to have him in my side, as the Knights are on 84 for 4 after 13, requiring 56 more runs. Of course, this is how the Knights did make it to the final yesterday. The qualifier. Couple of little gems, 35 unbeaten runs of 16 deliveries, and Shahidullah's 23 ball 42. The Knights reached by with 8 balls to spare.
Seven overs left. Right, now it's going to be Karoti to bowl his second over, introduced in just the 12th over. Can he do some?
We seem to have lost Navneet for a bit. Apologies for the technical glitch. But Karoti in his second over.
You know, when we look back at the 2020 campaign in the SHPAGEEZA Cricket League, what's important to note is that the Eagles have beaten the Knights on both occasions. So they do have the wood on the Knights. But you know how T20 cricket is. The past counts for nothing at all. It's a new game, a fresh day, and there's so much at stake today. So I'm not too sure if we're going to read much into that, Arun, because it might the same.
Because I've seen either of the extremes happen. We saw that during one season. I think Chennai Super Kings defeated Sunrisers Hyderabad. I think it was a couple of years ago. They defeated them in the league stages. They defeated them in the finals. I think they had a record of 4-0 against them that very season. I think something similar also happened with Mumbai Indians and Chennai Super Kings as well. So it's very hard to call. Psychologically, how much does this impact the team on the losing side? It's really hard to tell.
Over, maybe in the range of 10 to 15, will suddenly make this a run-a-ball game. And they know that, the Knights know that, and this is why they will take this till the very end. A big shot coming, but just didn't make good contact, and it's another single to Shahidullah. He, in my opinion, will be the key. Shahidullah Kamal played an outstanding knock just yesterday, and along with Afzar, they put up one of the best partnerships we've seen in this SHPAGEEZA Cricket League under pressure, and here they are once again. Well, they've been okay just playing out Karoti, and I think the right thing to do, because he's been good, he's been bowling well, and they're happy giving him 6 to 7 to the over.
But that's 90 for 4 at the end of 14. And it's quite symmetrical at the moment. They need 50 runs of 6 overs, and they have 6 wickets in hand. I personally feel that the ploy to hold back Karoti has actually been a good one. Because Khamai Zadran has shown a tendency in the past to clobber the spinners. So they stuck to what they were doing best. Sharifi, Hasibullah, Nijat and Azmatullah. Those 2 overs from Azmatullah are certainly stocked up, but Hasibullah's over here could be crucial because he's been a little hit or miss right through. If they're going to be able to target one bowler, they'll have to look at Hasibullah here. They just cannot afford to leave it for too late too.
So dot ball to start off, 50 of 35 now. Karoti has 11 wickets this series, and which is why I find it hard to understand why he would come on in just the 12th over. This is good tidy stuff from Hasibullah. We haven't seen much of him all season, and he comes here and he picked up the big wicket of Mohammad Shahzad early on. And that is what I like. I like the intent of Rehman Gurbaz. He's talking to the bowlers, the fielders. They know they're in with a chance. One wicket is all they need, and it might just tilt it in their favor. It's that kind of a seesawing match.
This is a rite of passage for the young captain, Rahmanullah Gurbaz. He's done well to get the counsel of seniors like Samuel Shinwari. Hasibullah playing his first game of the tournament. He's bound to be a little nervous. You see the field coming up there. The mid-off comes up. Could well be a short ball if he has pushed the square fielder back. Yes, that was the plan all along. That's a sound tactic, especially if you're able to nail those short deliveries. I'd rather have you do that rather than go for those wide Yorkers and more full tosses.
Hasn't relatively quiet at the moment. Not much happening between the two sides because bowling side, dot ball coming their way. They're looking for that one wicket, and the batting team, well, both teams playing the waiting game here. No big shot yet in the last couple of overs. And that's why this is going to go down to the wire, Arun. It's going to go down to the last couple of overs. The Eagles and the Knights are waiting. They're waiting for any sort of mistake from the opposition. One wicket for the Eagles is going to bring them back in the game, and they will come with full momentum and force. A couple of boundaries for the Knights, and they'll suddenly feel that they can run away with this very quickly. It's at that crucial juncture.
I think this has been a top finish from Hasibullah. We were just speaking about how this man could well prove to be the weak link, but he's really come back after the hammering he got in the first over. Just 4 runs conceded in the 15th. The Knights are on 94 for 4. They still need 46 more runs of 30 deliveries. Right, we just saw the one bowler that they could have potentially targeted bowled really well. Who else do you possibly reckon that they would go for?
Well, I think it has to be Karoti. And it's not going to be easy because he's not going to give you too much flight and loop. He's going to bowl a lot flatter, and to get that elevation is not going to be easy. But I think he will be the bowler that they will try to target. He's been informed though, because Azmatullah and Nijad have been very economical. They've been good with the new ball, and I think they'll do a tidy job right at the very end. Azmatullah has a couple, Nijad has one, so 3 from them, and something tells me that Karoti will bowl out with these 2 as well. So this is what I think the last 5 overs will look like.
It has to, and which is why I'm quite okay with the plan to hold back Karoti. Maybe not till the 12th over, but certainly until the 10th. But left-hand batsman against left-arm spinner, this promises to be exciting.
It is these 2 overs from Karoti, Arun. These 2 overs, something's got to give. We're either seeing a wicket or 2, or we're going to see a flurry of boundaries. And the match will tilt accordingly.
But look at those fine margins over there. That could have easily sped to the fence. That was some good fielding, all right, but the bowler did get lucky. Wasn't the smartest of ball to bowl.
There you go. Comes a big shot. Oh, very lucky that he didn't hit that any better, because if he did, that was heading straight to the long gone fielder. This is what I was talking to you about. They will fancy their chances against Karoti, but it's not going to be easy to hit him.
Right, once more to the left-hand bat. This is actually quite sound thinking, in theory at the very least, because he's trying to cramp him, not giving him any hitting room at all. But the moment he's going to slightly err in length, it might cost him a lot.
Have a look at the trajectory with which Karoti is running. Absolutely brilliant. Flat as possible, and he's darting it into the pads of the left-hander. And so it's hard for Shahidullah to get any sort of elevation and free his arms. And
that's exactly.
He finally makes contact and gets the boundary. Much needed.
That's the point we were just bringing up a little while ago. The moment you err in your length, like what he's done over there, over just 6 of the overs so far, you just need to ensure you have enough protection in the deep if you're going to continue bowling that length.
Oh. But Karoti will take this over. Despite the boundary, he will take this over. Suddenly, Arun, we're talking 10 to the over. I know we just have 4 overs left, but it slowly has crawled its way to 10 to the over. My word, it's only fitting that we're going down to the wire in this final game of the SHPAGEEZA Cricket League because it's been that kind of cricket. It's been cricket of the highest quality. We've had first high view of the future talent of Afghan superstars. Really, it has been an absolutely fantastic experience to be calling each of these games, bringing you fantasy commentary, understanding what they bring to the table from some of the best spinners, the factory of spinners, to some big hitting Afghan batsmen. The SHPAGEEZA Cricket League really has given us an indication of what Afghan
process to be exciting, less being more. A great example of that is Gurbaz, just utilizing 5 bowlers, and as predicted, Alokozay comes back to bowl his third over. I reckon he's going to bowl the 17th and the 19th with Najat taking over the last over if need be. And the spinner Khairoti bowling the over in between. So the batsmen know what they're up against. The fielding team knows what they have in their hands. It's just a question of holding your nerve and picking the right balls to hit. But they really need to target Azmatullah. It's been quite a while since he's had a bowl. It's just coming back in. You just need to utilize on that rawness if there is any. Right, a shy at the stump. There's quite a lot happening here now.
Time in the start, and once they started to get some sort of momentum in their way, the boundaries and the sixes started to come, and then they made it look so easy. Right? So they do have a fourth gear and a fifth gear. It's a matter of when they want to make that switch. Right? And I think the time is now, Arun.
The only problem with hitting the high, and I don't think there is much in the pitch either. We have seen in the past afternoon games, the pitches would have quickened up a bit by now, but this has progressively slowed down. It's not all that easy.
Once again in the block hole, this is high quality bowling, death bowling from Azmatullah Omarzai. We've heard Boria say so much about how this man is very likely to be the next big star of Afghan cricket. Azmatullah Omarzai with the bat, with the ball on the field. There's so many dimensions to his game, and look at that death bowling right in the block hole, ball after ball. 39 of 21. Tense faces everywhere.
Shahidullah really needs to go after Azmatullah in this over. He's held the trigger for so long, but with the run rate creeping around the 10 mark, you have to go now.
Will run away for a boundary. It was with on offer. There was a point fielder there, but he did well to miss that fielder. Full toss, angles it so nicely, and that is a crucial boundary. That is a crucial boundary and might just be something that might indicate the momentum for the Knights.
Sure, Master, it was a bit of a gift. Wide outside Awesome. He was looking to nail that wide Yorker because he saw the batsman backing away. But well done, Shahidullah, to make some connection.
Comes back with another Yorker. This is good. This is very impressive. Remember, 10 to the over. They started at 40 or 4. At the moment, they've done well to get 6 or 4. How can Omarzai close this out? He still has 1 over left in the kitty, and he will come back. 6 runs have come off 5 deliveries, so you will say it's Omarzai who's won this little battle. Full toss, full toss. Has this gone the distance? Oh, it's dropped short. It dropped short. And he's lucky that he is surviving, Afzar. 33 needed of 3. It's now 11 to the over. Arun, come on, give me a name.
You can't do that to me, Navneet Krishna. Okay, let me just put it for you this way. I still feel the Knights are in with a better chance, but personally, if you ask me, I would like to see the Kabul Eagles win, just for the sake of having a new winner.
Well, you have a point there. You certainly do have a point there, but there's something about like the middle order batsmen, probably not the biggest names on paper, but coming and doing it for your team. It makes it so much more special as well, right? So I'm rooting for the Knights, really. So it's even Steven in the commentary box here. Arun going for the Kabul Eagles and I'm going for the Knights. I'm going to try to get our producer to give us the tiebreaker. We live in a diplomatic world, don't we? Mandir Bhatia is happy to sit on the fence and he's not going to give me a name. He tells me that he wants to still wait for another over. My friend, you might as well just wait for 20 overs to get done and give me a name. Over. This is the over, Arun. This is the over. And have a look at what has happened. Alokozay has hit one down to the long on fielder. My word, it's all down to Shahidullah Kamal. He is absolutely disappointed. Is Alokozay. It was a short ball. It was there to be hit. But he hit one down the throat of long on. And look at the jubilation of the fans behind him. You can't do this. You can't do this. This is a nail-biting finish. This, the final. 33 required of 17. 5 wickets in hand. Which way is this going to go?
Right now, we were just speaking a little while ago that the Knights still probably had a bit of an edge. But the game is actually on the Knights' edge right now. The Eagles seem to have swooped in on another wicket. There is a lot of pressure that's going to be there on young Shahidullah Kamal. The big Alokozay, as he was walking back, was seen having a long conversation with Shahidullah Kamal, possibly telling him what he needs to do. A lot depends on the opposition as well, the batsman at the other end as well. I think it's Ibrahim Khan who's come in. Right, Karoti, can he do some more damage? He's done damage all through the tournament with the ball, with the bat. Tell you what, now's the time to make all those revisiting what happened in the first innings. Oh, there is an overthrow over there. Certainly something they could have done without. Certainly something that could have been avoided, Navneet Krishna.
Shinwari, the culprit there, throws that in anger and it costs them a run. Karoti, this is a crucial over. That's why I told you it's not easy to get him away. The left-hander, he gives you another 25 points and Karoti is doing this in style for the Kabul Eagles. Oh my word.
I think this could be the game.
It could be the turning point. Well, the Kabul Eagles. Unbelievable. This is exactly what I was saying. You cannot hit Karoti easily. He's going to bowl it flat onto the stumps. If you miss, he will hit.
He's got a Sana Jayasuriya-like trajectory where he bowls, when he fires those darts in from round the stump.